Welcome to episode 14 of Modern Latina in Midlife. I am your host, Sonia Flores, midlife coach, helping women in midlife peel back the layers and roles society has placed on them, rediscover and reawaken the spark inside that was shut down so many years ago, and manifest a midlife with intention and purpose. And speaking of manifesting, today's episode is about manifesting your desires and several manifestation techniques you can use to help you manifest your best chapter yet in this stage of life that is midlife. I think this topic is essential in midlife because so many of us women have lived a life by making choices that satisfied someone else's ego, or because that is what we were expected to do. Many of us checked off the boxes of doing our best in school, which was very difficult for me, getting the good grades, going to college, getting married, having kids, buying the house, living our parents' American dream. In the case of those of us who are children of immigrant, checking off that list was very important. And we often felt responsible to fulfill, or to feel like our parents' sacrifices to come to this country and work low-paying blue-collar jobs was worth their blood, sweat, and tears. So that American dream was always top of mind for me of what they wanted for themselves and then some, right? So when we reach this stage of midlife, when we are becoming wiser and being forced to take inventory of our past choices, our experiences, and start to reflect on ourselves, to go inward and do the work. If we haven't already taken the time to do so, this is the stage when we are kind of forced into that space. And many women are finding themselves in a place where they're asking, now what? Or this is not where I envisioned I would be at this point in my life. Or I checked off all the boxes and on paper, my life looks spectacular. So why am I not fulfilled? I feel like something is missing. And yet, many times women feel like it's too late for me to make any changes or to move. I'm nearing retirement. I'm just going to stick with this, or this is what is expected of me. But I'm here to remind you that it is never too late and you're never too old to live the life you truly desire. Go back to school, learn a new skill, take on a new hobby, travel the world, change careers, start a business, you name it. Start investing in real estate, write a book, learn new habits, drop old unwanted habits. Let your inner spark shine, living your true, authentic self. As I've shared in past episodes, in midlife, which is between the ages of 40 to 60 approximately, we still have potentially a few decades ahead of us. So why settle for this is what is expected of me? Why not make it your best chapter yet? This is the perfect time for growth, for reinvention, or better yet, like I like to think of it, to reawaken your inner authenticity and your inner spark. And for so many of us, we are undergoing spiritual awakenings and transformation. That's what reflecting and going inward and doing the work becomes. And in creating this next chapter, I like to work with manifestation techniques. And this is very much something I incorporate in my own coaching with my clients. So let's get into the concept of manifestation. It's not all woo-woo. There is actually a lot of science backing up manifestation techniques. But let's get into what is manifestation first. Manifestation is the process through which thoughts, beliefs, and intentions are translated into reality. It's rooted in the idea that individuals have the capability, through conscious choice and focused energy, to bring specific experiences, objects, or outcomes into their lives. The science behind manifestation. So let's get into it. Number one, quantum physics. At its core, everything in the universe is made up of energy, including our thoughts and emotions. Quantum physics suggests that our thoughts can influence the behavior of energy and matter on the smallest scales. Therefore, focused and intentional thinking aligned with emotional energy could, in theory, influence our reality. I think that makes common sense, don't you? Number 2 is brain plasticity. Our brains have the ability to reorganize themselves by forming new neural connections. This means that repeated thoughts and practices, like those in manifestation exercises, can rewire our brain to think and behave in new ways. When we consistently focus on a particular outcome or feeling, we can create new pathways in our brain that make it easier to bring about that outcome or feeling in our lives. The brain doesn't know the difference between the truth in our thoughts and those thoughts that are not truth. So if we're constantly feeding our brain with messages like, I'm not enough, I don't make enough money, I'm broke, I'm not lovable, the brain is going to believe it. Just the same as it would believe, I am powerful, money comes easily to me, I'm worthy of love. Just the same way, the brain does not know the difference between truth or not truth. So why not feed it with positive messages? Our brain believes it. Number 3, reticular activating system, RAS, RAS. This is a network of neurons located in the brainstem that plays a vital role in consciousness and regulating sleep-wake transitions. It also acts as a filter for the myriad stimuli that the brain processes. When you set an intention or goal, the RAS starts noticing relevant opportunities and resources that were always there, but might have been overlooked. For example, if you're thinking about buying a car, a white Tesla, let's just say, you're going to start to see white Teslas everywhere. You're going to start to hear people talking about it. You're going to start to see opportunities to purchase it or to test drive it, or you're going to start to see it everywhere on the freeway. That's what happens every time. It is not that there's more of them. It's just that you're going to start to notice them more because now you've made your reticular activating system aware of it. So it's looking for it. It's looking for the opportunities to bring that to life. Then there's number 4, the law of attraction. Though more metaphysical than strictly scientific, many proponents of manifestation believe in the law of attraction. This law suggests that like attracts like. In other words, positive or negative thoughts bring positive or negative experiences into a person's life. While scientific evidence for the law of attraction is limited, many find it to be a useful tool in guiding their mindset and behaviors. In other words, raise your vibration or your frequency to attract a new reality. If you continue to behave in the same way and have the same thoughts, you're going to continue to manifest the same types of experiences into your life, into your reality. So if you want to change that, we need to change those thoughts and we need to create new habits and raise our vibration to match the vibration level of the experiences and the things that we want to acquire. We're not going to do it from the place at which we are today. If we want to attract like, because like attracts like, our thoughts and our behaviors need to change in a way that embodies that experience or thing that we want to acquire. Number 5, psychological effects. Setting clear intentions and focusing on desired outcomes can enhance motivation, self-efficacy, and confidence. When someone believes that they can achieve something and continuously focuses on that belief, they are more likely to take actionable steps towards achieving it. The active visualization, a common manifestation technique, has been shown in studies to improve performance in various fields from athletics to cognitive tasks. When we set an intention and we're constantly focusing on it, our brain starts looking for ways of making it happen. Setting intentions is incredibly powerful. Number 6, behavioral alignment. Manifestation requires a clarity of purpose. This clarity often translates into behaviors aligned with one's goals. For example, if someone is manifesting better health, they are more likely to make healthier choices in their diet and exercise because it's on their mind. While science behind manifestation combines established scientific principles with more metaphysical beliefs, manifestation is a powerful tool in reshaping your reality. Even for those skeptical of the more esoteric aspects, the psychological and behavioral benefits of setting clear intentions and visualizing desired outcomes are well documented. So why use manifestation in midlife? Setting the power of intention during our life's transitions. If we're hitting a block, if we're stuck, if we're feeling monotonous, bored, like we're not living our true authentic selves, setting those intentions to come out of that place, to come out, to find our authenticity, to be able to transition through our life experiences in a graceful, easeful manner is extremely powerful. Once we set those intentions, we activate all of those things we just talked about, the RAS and our behaviors and so on and so forth, to find those opportunities to make that happen. But it's going to be really important to be able to get to a point where we can set intentions and clarity, become clear on what we want to make that happen. Manifestation can guide women towards clarity and purpose during midlife. We often hit this stage feeling completely lost and confused. And, maybe some of us were affected, with a divorce or lost careers, or we want to start a business. So manifestation can be a really powerful tool in helping us gain the clarity and the purpose to live this third chapter in our lives with intention. So let's get into some manifestation techniques. The first one is scripting. This is the process of writing down what you desire with great detail. You write down all the detail that you can think of, from like, what is your day going to look like when you wake up? How are you going to move through the day? Who are you going to talk to? What are you going to have for breakfast? Are you going to exercise? Do your workouts in the morning? Are you going to meditate? Are you going to have meetings? Are you going to have dinner with your family or with friends? Like, script what you want that future self to look like, whether it's financial independence or starting a business or a loving relationship, whatever that is for you. Script with incredible detail what that looks like. What are you going to wear? Where are you going to be living? What are you going to be driving? What kind of dates are you going to go on? What is your communication going to be in your relationship, et cetera, et cetera. You want to start by thinking of the things that you don't want right now and flipping that to a more positive, successful story. So if you have a situation going on at work that you're not happy with, rewrite that script to what would be the ideal situation for you at your current work, or what the ideal situation would be with your business, what kind of clients you would be attracting. And write it in the present tense as if it has already happened. So that's where you start. Number 1 is scripting. Number 2 is visualization. Once you have created that script, you start visualizing it. You do a guided visualization for 2 minutes. So read that script to yourself over and over again, 2 to 5 minutes. Play a movie in your mind of what that looks like and start to add feeling to that. Start to feel what it would feel like to have that accomplished. Put yourself in that moment. Envision yourself having that meal or going on that date or meeting with that ideal client. To take it even further, you can record yourself reading your script. I would even add a little bit of music behind it and then play it to yourself over and over again, like a guided meditation. So you're constantly listening to it And put yourself in that place of feeling the emotions. That's going to be the real important part. Number 3, affirmations. Affirmations are great for changing our internal narratives. They're useful for overcoming limiting beliefs. Affirmations are a really powerful tool to help us rewire our subconscious with new narratives and beliefs. So how do we do this? Well, the best way that I have found to do it is to write down all the limiting beliefs that you have about a particular situation. Let's just say I'm never going to find a soulmate. So here are a few ways that you can flip that narrative and create it into positive affirmations. Love is continuously flowing into my life from all directions, and I am open to receiving the perfect, divinely timed romantic connection that is meant for me. I am whole and complete within myself, radiating love and attracting the right person who resonates with my energy and values. The universe is aligning circumstances, events, and people in my life to bring me closer to my true love, and I am patient, optimistic, and ready to meet them. If you truly have a hard time believing these affirmations, then you can always add something to it, like I am open to receiving love and open to believe that this is possible for me. So you start there until you believe that statement, and then you graduate to the next most believable affirmation. And this helps us to rewire our subconscious by feeding our brain constantly with the messages that we want it to believe. Then there's gratitude journaling, focusing on the positives and attracting more. One of the most powerful tools I'm learning that helps bring more manifestation into reality is gratitude. Expressing gratitude that for the things that we already have, the things that we have the ability to see, even if it's somebody else accomplishing the things that we want, we can see with our own eyes that these things are truly possible. So expressing gratitude for the things we have, being able to pay our bills, for being able to go on a walk, for seeing the beauty of the sun rising every day, for nature, for looking at all the abundance around us. Look at all these amazing and awesome, beautiful cars on the freeway. Look at the beautiful, neighborhoods and these beautiful homes, and look at the abundance all around me and the abundance that other people are creating, showing a gratitude for all of those things. I invite you to start expressing gratitude daily, first thing in the morning or at night. Take inventory of what has transpired during the day and express gratitude. And what I like to do is getting in the practice of picking different things to be grateful for. It's for me, it becomes very easy to say that I'm so grateful for my life and for my health and my beautiful home and my comfortable bed and my hot cup of coffee. Yes, but I challenge myself to start digging a little bit deeper. Thank you for the interviews that I had today, and for these inspiring women that accepted to join me on my podcast and deliver beautiful messages to the Modern Latina in Midlife audience. And, just go deeper. Thank you for my microphone that worked today. Thank you that technology has worked today and everything worked wonderful. And my mic worked, and every recording is recorded and waiting to be edited and released into the universe. So whether the abundance is yours or not, express gratitude for living amongst it and being able to experience it through the eyes of other people. Express gratitude when you pay your bills, as I've already stated, because you can pay them. So even the most minute things. Then there's meditation, connecting with the inner self and the higher purpose. I already mentioned meditation a little bit earlier when we talked about scripting and visualization, but you can find other meditations to help you manifest your desires in apps such as Insight Timer, or even on YouTube. There's a lot of guided meditations on YouTube for manifestation. Listening to these meditations much like affirmations, helps you rewire your subconscious. I'm particularly a fan of hypnosis meditations. One of my clients has a hypnosis app called HypnoCloud, and that has over 500 different hypnosis meditations to help you rewire your subconscious. But some are specific to manifesting. So I would suggest you take a look at that. And she's actually going to be launching a new app that's going to replace the HypnoCloud app. And that's going to be called Believe. Then there's vision boards. Materializing dreams and aspirations visually. Vision boards can be a really powerful tool. I know I started using vision boards about 15 years ago, but I was doing them much differently than I do now. It's not just a matter of grabbing a stack of magazines and cutting and pasting whatever you see in it that you happen to like. I like to be more intentional about it. I start with scripting and visualization with the exercises I've already explained. Then I look for images that match that visualization and intention. So I scour the internet, particularly Pinterest, and I Google images to match exactly what I want. Then I have them printed and put them on a vision board. Or I've done these visually, digitally as well. You can do this digitally if you'd like. The key is going to be to make sure you pull them up and keep them on as a wallpaper or something so that you can be looking at them often. As I'm doing this, putting the vision board together, I visualize with feeling what it would feel like to accomplish that goal or acquire that item. I've done vision board parties before. I participated in these vision board workshops where we also wrote a letter to our future self 1 year from now or 3 years from now, as if we were already standing on that date. So from the perception, from the point of having already accomplished those things that are on that vision board. And then put this vision board somewhere where you can see it daily. And remind yourself each time you see it to feel the feelings of having accomplished those things. It can also be a reminder to read your script and go into deep visualization or meditation. After any of these techniques, then there is a next step, and that is to embody the essence of having accomplished these intentions and manifestations. You start acting as if. This is not the same as fake it till you make it. That is a very different energy as far as I'm concerned. Acting as if is more intentional and it feels more in alignment. If you want a promotion, start dressing the part. Literally, dress for the position you want. You start carrying yourself and speaking as if you already have that position. If you are manifesting a soulmate, make sure that you're showing up daily as the person you would want to date. Would you date you? Start behaving as if he's coming over daily. Dress up, put your makeup on, do your hair, make room in your closet for some of his belongings. Empty out a drawer. Take yourself out on dates to the places you would love to go on a date with a soulmate to. Be the person that you want to date if you were him. But going back to embodying your manifested reality, you start acting as if you already have it. Clear your schedule or arrange your schedule to start accommodating the lifestyle you wish for. For me, it was creating a coaching business most recently. So I started arranging my calendar in a way that certain days I take coaching clients and certain days I'm working on my other business. And then another day is podcasting day. Now, I still run my other business and I'm not fully into coaching yet. So clearly I can't just have 2 days open for coaching and not have the clients for it. But I put it on my schedule. I set those time blocks. And of course, for now, I'm still working my business on most of those days, but I'm starting to create that room for my coaching days. I already know what days those are going to be. And today is my podcasting day. So I do podcasting interviews, record my podcast, and edit my podcast and get it out to you. This starts to put you in a frequency of your desires. You start vibrating at a frequency that attracts those desires. The energy level that those are at, the vibration that those desires are at. If you continue acting and behaving from the place at which you are now, you will continue to attract the same outcomes. So when you embody your intended manifestations, you raise your vibration to that frequency because like attracts like. And then you take inspired action. Once you put these pieces in place, you will start to take inspired action, not action that feels forced or difficult. Inspired action is exploring the opportunities that come your way, doing a little research. You start to overhear somebody talk about something that's related to your intentions or manifestations. You'll start to see things come into your life to support those intentions. Inspired action feels joyful and easy. Sometimes scary, yes, because it is an unknown still for us, right? It's a new journey we're walking, but it's not forced. If you feel resistance from within, like true resistance, if it feels incredibly uncomfortable to the core, that is not inspired action. Now, what are some common roadblocks that come up and some solutions? So putting your wish out there and waiting for it to land on your lap is a big misconception. That's not going to happen. I know The Secret made it sound like that, but you actually need to do something. It doesn't have to be difficult, but that is where the embodying and inspired action comes in. And then there's limiting beliefs. This is where affirmations come in really handy. Write down all your limiting beliefs about accomplishing that particular intention or goal. Then find the proof of a time when you have accomplished something similar or have seen someone else accomplish it. Just because you haven't done it doesn't mean you can't do it. Then create an empowering statement or affirmation around that. This can be something like, I have the resources and support to create a successful coaching business. Doubt is another roadblock. Lack of faith. Whatever faith you believe in, God, Buddha, the universe, you have to have some faith that it is coming and it is happening for you. You simply have to start believing. Once you put all those techniques into play, scripting and visualization and meditation, it really does become much easier to choose to believe that it has happened. It is created. It's just making its way to you. So believe, have that faith. That's going to be incredibly important. Then there's outside influences. Surround yourself with supportive people. Many times it's the people around us that talk us out of the things that we want to do. They project their own fears onto us and we take them as our own. Either limit your time with them and don't share your big lofty dreams and goals with them, or cut them off completely and surround yourself with the people who do believe in you and will cheer you on and will help you believe more in yourself. And finally, persistence. Don't give up on yourself. If you opened that door and that didn't work, it's okay. There's another door. Try it a different way. There are a million different ways to skin the cat. So remember, the gap between the life that you want and the life that you are living is mindset, focus, and persistence. Get clear on what you want. Set intentions. Focus on them. Stay persistent, and you will get there. So let me share some real life manifestation success stories. I'll share my story about how I manifested the home that I live in. I have been writing about living ever since 2018 when I had a big life change and left my relationship. I started just envisioning what I wanted that future to look like. And there's many pieces of the puzzle that go into this, but one in particular was, where do I want to live? And it was always this old home, because I love old homes, an old home with original hardwood floors, with a tub to soak in, with beautiful built-in cabinets, in a beautiful street neighborhood with trees down, tree-lined street, with great neighbors, a nice quiet neighborhood, close to, little downtown area or shops or great restaurants and bars and stuff to go have a drink at night and entertainment. And that's been a vision that I have vividly written about many times in the past. And so in 2020, last year, I came to a point where I had to look for a new place to live. And I had this vision of what I wanted to live in mind. And it was a really competitive market out there to find a home. And I mean, there were bidding wars left and right, and it just started to feel impossible. And I started to have this anxious feeling, a fear that I'm not going to find a place to live in on time for the deadline that I had. And so I came really close to pulling the trigger on a couple of places that were not perfect, but were in budget and I can get into them on time for my deadline. And I just really had to sit back at one point and ask myself, gosh, Sonia, is this really what you want? Like, or are you going to settle again? And I decided, no, I'm going to hold off until I find exactly what I want. And I did. I held off. I found this listing on MLS, and the pictures of this home were blurry. There were only very, very few pictures, but I knew the minute I saw it, I knew, oh my gosh, I think this is it. And I looked up the neighborhood that it lived in, and I went and I drove down the street, and I absolutely fell in love with the house before I even stepped inside. And I was like, this is it. This is it. It was a little bit over my budget, but I was like, you know what? This is a place that I'm going to love sending that money off to every month, because I'm going to love being in it versus having to send a payment for a home that I don't love. That's going to hurt more. So I made the choice to move forward with it. And I sent in all my stuff, and then I was told, well, they're kind of making repairs to the home. You can't see it right now, blah, blah, blah. And so I kept my search up. I kept looking for a home and just kept thinking about this one and following up on it. She just kept saying, oh, they're still working on it. You can't see it yet. Finally, she calls me, the real estate agent calls me and says, you can come take a look at the home now. So I go and I look. The minute I stepped inside into this little front porch area that is now my office, I just thought, oh my gosh, I love it. And I walked around, and the energy and the essence of this home just spoke to me. And I absolutely loved it by the time I finished touring the home. And there were other people looking at the home as well. And, it just, all these things came through my mind, like, okay, like, they're going to look at me. I'm a single person, and there's all these other people walking in were couples. So my mind was stuck in, oh, they're going to feel more comfortable picking somebody who, a 2-income household, maybe, as opposed to me as a single woman. I don't know why these limiting beliefs came in, but they did. But I told her, I said, I want it. I'm ready. Where do I sign? Like, this is I'm ready. And so she said, well, the owner is traveling, and he won't be back for a couple of days. This was a Thursday. She's like, he won't be back until, Monday. I'll meet with him then. So I'll let you know by Tuesday what's going on and what's happening and who he chooses to go with. And so I went home that day, and the home already matched my script, my visualization, but I went into writing a script about me already living here, what it would be like to wake up every morning and make my coffee. And I visualized myself in the kitchen making my coffee, opening up the windows and the curtains to these beautiful windows in my front living room and the backyard, and how I would decorate the home. I even made a list on Amazon and Joss and Main and Wayfair of all the things that I would need to purchase I took inventory of all my belongings and how everything would fit and be arranged in the home. I drew out a floor plan and arranged my furniture, did like a space planning of the home, and started envisioning what my holidays would be like here, and what it would be like to have host dinners and have friends over and have cocktails and brunch. And what my weekends were going to be like, and walking down to the farmers market down the street on Saturdays. I went into great detail. I envisioned myself working at this desk every day with my clients through my computer, and going out for walks in this beautiful neighborhood in the middle of the day. I live really close to a downtown area, and a trail, a hiking trail. So I envisioned myself going to downtown and having dates in downtown at the restaurants, and hiking the local mountain and trails, and just really truly visualized myself in this space. And I did this every single day, as many times as I could throughout the day. I envisioned myself here and living out my days. And I wrote about it, and I meditated about it, and I visualized about it. And by the time I went to bed on Sunday night, I knew it in my heart. I just knew it. I went to bed saying to myself, that house is mine. It's mine. I knew it. I just knew it. I just had this belief, this 100% faith that it was mine. And I got the call the next day, the next morning, Monday morning, and she said, it's yours. And I 100% attest to the manifestation techniques that I put in place that manifested this. And then I had to manifest appliances fast and cheap. So I went into my manifestation again, but this time I used a little bit of a different technique, and I didn't talk about it in the techniques to use. It's not one of the more popular ones, but it's called the 555 technique, which is what it basically means is you write out what you want, your intention, your manifestation, your affirmation 55 times for 5 days. And so I did that. I manifested a refrigerator and a washer and a dryer way below the budget that I had intended. So I started talking about it. I started mentioning it. And then my brother out of nowhere said, well, do you want my refrigerator? Heck yes. There goes a free refrigerator. And it's a full-size, great refrigerator. And then I found a washer and dryer on OfferUp for way cheaper than I had intended to spend. And it was like certified used, it's like it was from a shop. It wasn't from like a home. It was like a shop that sells appliances. These just happened to be lightly used, and they delivered them for free. So way under budget, my appliances, and I also wanted them delivered by a certain date. And that was done. So I used the 555 technique. I wrote down what I wanted for 55 times for 5 days. And I think what that does, it's part of the rewiring the brain. I think you spend so much time focusing on writing that affirmation. And to me, putting pen to paper is so powerful. But that's a conversation for another day on a journaling episode. But I think that process of going through that and putting that focus for that amount of time on creating this thing that I wanted, but I wrote the affirmation in a place of already having it, and writing it down over and over and over again. I think it really does something to your reticular activating system, and finding those opportunities to have the conversations, or to look in a certain place, to take that inspired action of finding a way to bring that into life. So anyway, so I did that. And then I also manifested a great man into my life. And I've touched about this already in another episode, so I'm not going to go into detail about that here. But I recorded an episode, it's episode 6, The Art of Dating in Midlife, I think it's a great episode. Go listen to it if it's something that interests you, about how I manifested a great man into my life. And that's not the intention that I was creating when I started my dating in midlife, nor was it that an intention necessarily, um, of what that podcast was going to be about, manifesting a great man, a soulmate, or what have you. But that's really what it is. That's what, that's how I made it happen. And this man is still in my life, and he's a wonderful, generous man. And we're having just a blast, having different experiences and traveling and enjoying our families and our loved ones and our company. So if that's something that interests you, take a listen to episode 6, The Art of Dating in Midlife. So there you have it. I encourage you to pick one of these, at least one of these manifestation techniques, and practice it for a month, on something that you want to create, and see what happens. See what comes to life. I'd love for you to share with me if something comes of it or how that turns out for you. I want you to live your midlife with intention and with purpose. You can create this to be your best chapter in life yet. And I'm doing the same. I'm creating my best chapter, and I can truly attest to the fact that this is so far the best part of my life. It is not too late to have the experiences that you once dreamt about. If you sat on the fence far too long, over something that you wanted to do or create, now is your chance. If you lived your life by default, now is the time to create your midlife with intention, to live out your dreams and your true purpose. I invite you to share your takeaways from this episode over on Instagram, where I hang out most of the time, or I hang out the most, I should say. Send me a DM or share in the comments, and I'd love to hear what your takeaways from this episode are. And if you are ready to peel back those layers and the roles that society has placed on you and start living a midlife with intention, my Midlife Reawakening private coaching could be for you. This is for women in midlife who are feeling stuck, monotonous, or bored, and are ready to rediscover their true purpose and spark and start living their midlife with intention. I help you peel back those layers and reawaken that spark that was shut down so many years ago with all the roles and expectations that everyone else put on you. The Midlife Reawakening 90-day coaching program will launch in January, but I'm looking for a few highly committed women in midlife who are willing to participate in a case study and provide feedback while I solidify the content for my program. In exchange for your help, you will receive 25% off the program, all the tools, worksheets, mindset work, manifestation techniques, energy work, and weekly one-on-one private coaching with me. If you're not sure if this is for you, well, do any of the following statements resonate? I hit midlife, now what? I feel stuck, monotonous, and bored in my existing reality. I'm living my life by default, and it doesn't feel true to me. I fear living in my existing reality forever. This isn't where I envisioned I would be at this age. If the answer is yes to any of this, this may be your sign. Here's what one of my most recent clients had to say about coaching with me. Sonia helped me get clear on my direction and find a solution toward my purpose. You will not regret the time spent coaching with Sonia. It is a wonderful exchange of energies and conversation that gets you to put your goals down on paper and achieve what you set out to do. She provides a guidance if you are unsure where to start and will help you create a plan. Before working with Sonia, I was confused about where I wanted to go next in my life, and now I can move with confidence toward the fulfillment of my dreams and abundance. If this interests you, DM me on Instagram at Modern Latina in Midlife, or send me a message through my website, that is sonia-flores.com. I will link both in the show notes for easy access. And send me a message. I'll send you the details and we can figure it out from there. If you know another woman in midlife who may be able to benefit from something like this, please share this podcast episode with them or send them to my Instagram profile and have them get in touch with me. I'm very much looking forward to connecting with those who are feeling called to create their best chapter yet in midlife. Now, one more ask. Please take a couple of minutes to leave a rating and review for the podcast so that we can continue to reach more women in midlife and help us all live a midlife with intention and purpose. I really, really would greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much for being here. Hasta la próxima.